What's up guys, Joe from JS Bladecraft. Today is a drop date, July 17, 2023. Two knives that I wanted to show you from RoseCraftBlades, actually three, but I'm going to test out two of them for you. First is going to be the MA-11. This is a desert tan model. They come in a couple different models as well. And then the next one is going to be the AERIS Rex. That's also going to be dropping today. Two very interesting knives from RoseCraftBlades. I saw these first at the Blade Show. Pretty intrigued by this one. This one kind of really does speak to me a little bit. First issue for law enforcement, like a law enforcement type of knife, and it looks like it looks to be a little bit more rugged, especially because you have the black powder coated stainless steel frame lock, and this is actually a liner lock, but this has got some weight to it. It's got a little bit weight to it, a little very firm in the handle. I like both of these, but let's actually get through some specs first, and then we're going to test them out. First off, RoseCraft MA-11. This one is in desert tan. It comes in at a retail at this point $76.99. It's a 3.9-inch RPM 9 Tanto blade, 3.2 millimeter thick stock, ambidextrous thumb stud openings on both sides, really smooth as all RoseCraftBlades are, ceramic ball bearings, stainless steel frame lock with the black PVD coating, and the front is a nice sculptor G10 desert tan cover. It's about 4.7-inch handle, weighs about 6.8 ounces, and it was designed by Andy Armstrong. Next one is a RoseCraft AERIS Rex. This one comes in at around 106, but without the carbon fiber, it's around 85 bucks. It's a 3.45-inch Harpoon Tanto with a black PVD coating. It's got a 3.2 millimeter thick spine, also ceramic ball bearings, ambidextrous liner lock system, not frame lock. It's a marbled carbon fiber handle with the copper bolsters. It's got a hidden lanyard hole, 4.55-inch handle. It actually comes in a little bit heavier than the MA-11 at around 5 ounces in weight, and this was designed by Hawkins Rose. Yeah guys, they look nice. I like the fit and finish of them so far. Definitely handsome looking knives. New lineup from RoseCraftBlades dropping today. But my question is, how do they feel in the hand? How do they feel in the hand when working with them? And how do they hold up to normal tests? And can they be maybe a rendition of work knives from RoseCraftBlades? Let's check it out. All right, it's a hot day in New York, so we're going to try to make this short and sweet, guys. What do you say? So this is the MA-11. Now, what I like about the MA-11 is the fact that it does have a pretty nice sizable handle. It's got a lot of width on the handle. It's flat. I mean, it doesn't have a very thick profile in terms of the girth, okay, as far as catching the flubber of your hand, but it makes up for it as far as the width of the handle. Now, the zippiness is always good. I mean, the ceramic ball bearings on all RoseCraftBlades knives are pretty damn good. But this one doesn't disappoint as far as deployment. It's got a nice, powerful frame lock. I love that whole blacked out type of look. It's just a really nice looking knife. And in terms of the grip, it really kind of just hugs your hand. I think it's around 4.7 inches, so it really hugs your hand pretty well. And, you know, the comfort is there. Even though the girth is not there, the comfort is there in terms of the width. I found the frame lock to be a little bit stiff, but for the most part, I think it's something that can kind of, it is going to be kind of breaking itself in as you own it a little bit. I know there is a way to fix it. I know Andy has a little fix for this as far as if it's a little stiff out of the box. So I'm going to find out about that and get back to you about that, you know, when I speak to Andy. But the deployment is very zippy, very smooth. As far as the return, like I said, a little bit stiff here, but not to the point where it's going to be, you know, too much of a problem. And I see actually as I do it over and over again, it kind of just it's kind of breaking itself in, you know, the more and more that you use it. So comfort wise, I like how this feels in the hand, and I like how it kind of fills the hand in with the width of the handle. And it's important because if you want to use this as a work knife, you want to make sure that it is going to fit your hand well. Ergonomics of it is going to be extremely important, especially if we're going to classify this as a work knife and you want to do work related stuff. The handle it's extremely crucial to have a very comfortable, sizable handle that fits your hand. Like I said, this AERIS Rex, it really it speaks to me. I really like the look of it, the marbleized the marble carbon fiber with the copper bolsters. I mean, it's definitely a handsome looking knife. This has got a little bit more weight to it than the MA-11. This is also very zippy, liner lock. This has got a really good detent if that's important to you, but the return is very zippy, very good one-hand operation. This came out of the box very, very zippy. And It's like I said, with the weight, and it's got a little bit more thickness here, and this kind of really does fill in your hand. This kind of reminds me a little bit of the Mohawk in terms of how it fits into your hand. The Mohawk has a little bit more of a handle size, but in terms of how this thing fits in your hand, it feels like the Mohawk, and it's pretty rigid. I mean, it looks like a pretty rigid type of blade as far as use, but you know, we'll see how it works out. But this is the first harpoon style tanto that I've ever seen, and if I didn't mention it before, this is also RPM 9 steel, and I have no problem with RPM 9 steel. It's not a super steel. It holds its edge well. It's very easy to sharpen. I haven't seen any chips or anything like that, any breakage, you know, through the testing. So listen, RPM 9 steel is pretty good. That's what they use, and it's it's all good in the hood. It works. Easy to sharpen, and it lasts. I mean, what more could you want from you know, a knife within this type of price category? This being about $106 only because it's got carbon fiber, but the non-carbon fiber one is a very manageable $85 if you don't want the carbon fiber, but everything else about the knife is exactly the same. So comfort wise, yes, fills your hand pretty well. Like it, kind of choke up on it over here. And it's got a little bit more girth on the handle. It kind of catches the flub of your hand. You have a little bit more room here for larger hands. So I have no problem with how this thing fits and feels in the hand if you were looking to use this every day for work. All right, so we're going to start with the MA-11. Let's test the strength of this frame lock. Obviously, you know, with a knife like this, you're not really supposed to be tossing it into the wood, but I definitely wanted to see, this is a great test to test out to see how well the frame lock locks up, and if if any vibration in hitting the stump, if anything, basically disengages the lock. So let's just do a gravity drop test. You know, and it's got nice penetration here as far as the tanto tip, which is cool. So I was actually looking forward to doing this. The bounce is pretty good, a little bit of vibration there, but let's see if that affects it when we do a little bit of a harder downward throw. Okay, that engage, and that's got a nice bite. Look at all that, look at how much that gets into there. I really got to get in there to get it out. That was a little bit of a bad hit, but it didn't disengage it. So that handles it pretty well. I don't want to push it, but we'll do one more, a little bit harder. So far that frame lock really held up on the MA-11. Okay, so now let's try the Rex. Now this being a liner lock system. So a drop test. That's good. This has also got a nice tanto tip, so it should have some good penetration. Pretty cool. Let's do a little bit harder. Nice. Nice bite there too. Not too shabby. No wiggle, no rattle. Point is still pretty good on both, and it engages and deploys still pretty well. So pretty good in terms of the strength of the liner lock and the frame lock of this MA-11. Let's do a quick stabbing test. Okay, this is a kind of really dense folded up cardboard with duct tape. Let's see how this thing penetrates. Not bad, goes pretty much all the way through. And you can't see it, but it kind of just went through all the way with the point there. Let's try the AERIS. Okay, that actually kind of went all the way through. I like the tanto tip. The tanto tip is a really good sticker. That's really why I wanted to do this type of test, to see how well it penetrates, and it penetrates pretty good. Okay, now sharpness out of the box with all RoseCraft blades, I've always found to be very good. Very nice, kind of razor-like type sharpness, but it got through it. Not bad. Let's try the Rex. And that also got through it. But it got through it. Try the Rex. And again, why do I do this? To test the edge, to see how the copper, if it affects the edge, which it doesn't, and also to put some more stress on the frame lock and the liner locks. And again, when you got a sharp knife, and that handled it well also. just for some shits and giggles. That went through pretty well. No damage to the edge, of course, it's only a can. But I just like stabbing with this thing. I like the penetration of that tanto tip. It was really a lot of fun to play with, and so it makes it for a really good pick sticker or stabber, you know, with that nice little tanto tip. See how good of it is. How this feels in the hands in terms of when you're processing wood with it. And I like the tanto tip because you could really get in tight to do some nice fine work with the tip as well. But yeah, this feels really good in the hand. And again, good sharpness out of the box. And a good slicer and cutter. You know, I doesn't feel comfortable. It doesn't feel uncomfortable in the hand. There's no hot spots as far as what I can see. And I don't feel the frame lock giving out. I feel like it stays pretty tight. I don't see anything giving, which is good. So if you want to use this as a work knife or a spare in the pocket camping knife, I think it's pretty damn strong. I mean, look, it feels like a lot stronger than some other RoseCraft blades that I tested. This is definitely a little bit of a stronger type of feel to it. You know, it feels a little bit more solid in the hand. But let's try the AERIS Rex. Well, so this line of lock feels pretty good as well. Blade is not as thick as the MA-11, and it makes a difference whenever you're doing like this type of wood type of carving. Now, this is the ultimate pressure you're putting on the lock when you're doing stuff like this, and it feels pretty good. I mean, for the most part, that frame lock feels pretty good and solid in the hands. This is not too bad either. You see the chops it was getting there. The durability and the toughness from these new RoseCraft blades, and the more I use them, the more I'm getting comfortable with them. This is the first time I actually really put them in my hands and did any cutting with them whatsoever. So with any knife, it's got to grow on you a little bit, and you got to get used to basically where to put pressure, where to release, and how, you know, get used to how it feels in your hand. And so far, there's no hot spots on any of these. They feel pretty damn good, kind of holding up pretty well. But this looks pretty good. I don't see any chips, anything that will alarm me. The tip is good. Everything looks fine. Whew, it's freaking hot. Yes, I like these. I like both these knives. I was impressed at how much more rugged and toughly built this MA-11 and this AERIS Rex. I mean, pretty good. I think I would be pretty comfortable taking this thing to work and doing some good cutting at work, ropage, you know, carving things up, cutting open hard boxes all day long, but just having something a little bit more rugged in the pocket. It has a little weight. Both of these have some nice weight to them, which I love knives with weight. You know, I like having weight in the hand because, you know, as soon as you put it in your hand and you feel them and you feel the balance of them and how the weight is distributed, you know that these things are a little bit more rougher. So they handled it well. Frame lock, nothing is, there's no problem with in terms of engaging or disengaging. Everything opens and closes still pretty well on both. And I don't feel any wiggle or rattle on the blade whatsoever on each knife. So it tells me that these are a little bit more of a tougher rendition with these RoseCraft blades, and I'm pretty damn happy with them, and I'm looking forward to carrying these around and getting back to you and letting you know how they fare with you know, day-to-day type of use. Next one that's releasing today, this is called the Weya Okay, and this is also releasing as of today, 7/17/23, which is the airing of today's video, but this is also another one that's airing. This I would say is more of a to clip point, also RPM 9 steel, nice looking two-tone G10 handle. This fits the hand pretty well, but this I would say is more of like an everyday type of carry, nothing too rough, but it's, I gotta tell you, this is not too shabby. I think that it would probably handle a lot of the tests that I used today on the other knives, but I wanted just to let you know that this is also dropping today on RoseCraft's website. If you are interested in any of these knives, please don't forget to use my code JOESTEEL to get 10% off anything you buy from RoseCraftBlades. And if you can, please use that code. It just helps me to keep track, helps them to keep track as far as how much impact my videos are making in the community. So you have the AERIS Rex, you have the MA-11, and you have the Wayu. It's spelled W-A-Y-A, but they say it's pronounced Wayu, so that's what I'm going to go by. So great knives from RoseCraftBlades. Check them out, guys. Very impressed with these two, and I think this Wayu is also going to be very promising. So thanks for sticking around. Coming to you from a very hot, sweltering day in New York. Hope you enjoyed the video and hope you got something out of it. Don't forget, dropping are these 3 knives from RoseCraftBlades, and use my code if you're interested. Have a good one, guys, and keep cool wherever you are. Peace out. Ciao.